Yo, welcome to another episode of Shop Life. Today we're gonna be actually knocking down some orders here. So I just wanna kind of go through the whole process with you guys so you guys understand exactly what I'm doing. I know a lot of you guys know that I use Shopify. Shopify is basically where I do everything that has to do with the online store. This is where orders come in. This is where I buy the postage. Everything is done in this app right here, or this platform, I should say. So we got an order here for a 3X LA Don't Love You t-shirt. So we're gonna buy the shipping label here. I pre-weigh everything. So this t-shirt weighs 9.5 ounces with the actual poly mailer. They selected $4 first class shipping. First class is here. Buy the shipping label. And it looks like this is going out to Alabama. So shout out to Alabama. Print the documents. And now that this thing is printing out, we got the shipping label and we also got the order sheet to see what they ordered. So we're gonna go pick this and pack it right now. Come on. All right, so like I said, they got a size 3X LA Don't Love You. I'm coming over here to my racks and we have a size 3X LA Don't Love You t-shirt. So now let's pack this thing up and get it ready for the post office. So here we go. First thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna put it inside of a clear poly bag. The clear poly bags that I use measure at 9 by 12. When I use my t-shirt folder, it folds these t-shirts right here to 9 by 12. What I always recommend people is, before you go out and buy bags like this, figure out what your folded finished size is, meaning fold a t-shirt the way you would do it. If you're using something like this, which is like a flip folder, buy the flip folder, fold a t-shirt, then you measure that t-shirt to find out what size bags you need. You take your ruler and you measure the t-shirt. This one's 9 inches across and 12 inches in length. So I take those measurements, I go on to Amazon and I type in 9 by 12 clear poly bags. That's what this is right here. That's how this t-shirt right here slides perfectly into this bag. So that way you're not buying bags that you can't use. A lot of people do this and they're like, oh, he uses 9 by 12 bags. I'm gonna buy 9 by 12 bags. Then they fold their t-shirt up and find out that the t-shirt folds to 10 by 13. And now their finished folded size doesn't fit in their bag. So in order to save you money, save you time, this is how you do it. You fold the t-shirt first, whether you're using a flip folder or you're folding by hand. Then you take a ruler and you measure your finished folded size. That size is what you use to buy the bags, all right? Hopefully that helps some people out. So, clear poly bag. This is a self-sealing one, so it has a glue strip up here. We're gonna take the t-shirt. It's already pre-folded. We're gonna slide it into the bag. Remember I said my finished folded size 9 by 12 because that's what my folder folds them down to. I buy my bags, 9 by 12, fits in here perfectly. 9 by 12 t-shirt, 9 by 12 bag. Now, we're gonna throw a sticker in just cause every time somebody buys a t-shirt from me, they get a sticker. I don't sell the stickers, I just throw them in for free. Like I said, this is self-sealing, so you pull the glue strap off, fold this in. Now you have a completed t-shirt, size 3X. This is my design with the LA with the chucks. The back says, "This city don't love you." Now, next up, poly mailer. This is what this t-shirt in this bag goes into. My poly mailers measure to 12 by 15. You could buy whatever size poly mailers you want. Like, let's say you finish your t-shirts to 9 by 12 and you're like, that poly mailer looks too big. I'm gonna buy 10 by 13 poly mailers. You do whatever you wanna do. For me, I like to buy my poly mailers slightly a little bit bigger so I could fit more t-shirts in there in case somebody orders multiple t-shirts. Now, people are always gonna be like, well, what if somebody orders like 10 or 15? In my previous video, I showed me putting, I think it was like 9 or 10 t-shirts into a bigger poly mailer that was like 14 by 20, or I forget the sizing. But that poly mailer is for hoodies. So I buy my hoodie poly bags a little bit bigger so I could fit a hoodie in. And then in the event that somebody buys multiple t-shirts that doesn't fit into a 12 by 15, I could put it in the bigger one. So I only have 2 sizes of poly mailers that I use. These regular 12 by 15s and the slightly bigger one, which is I think 14 by 19 or 14 by 20, something like that. Same exact thing. Just because I use 14 by 20 poly mailers for my hoodies doesn't mean you need to use that size. I use that size because that's my finished size. That's how I fold my hoodies. That's how I measure them. And that's how I slide them into the poly mailers. So I buy that size poly mailer. For you, fold up a hoodie the way your finished size would be in order to ship it out. Measure it with the ruler, same exact thing, and buy a poly mailer that fits it. If not, you're gonna be buying bags that don't fit your garments or whatever it is. Save time, save money, save energy, all right? T-shirt goes into the 12 by 15 poly mailer. Next up, shipping label, packing slip. I like to write a little handwritten note on all of my packing slips to thank the customer. So that's what I'm gonna do right here, is just write a cool little message because I'm packing this order up and I appreciate this customer. If you ever bought anything from me and you received it from me, chances are it came with the handwritten note too. Packing slip, handwritten note on the bottom. We're gonna slide that in also. Do you need to do this? You can do whatever you want. This is something that I like to do. That goes into the poly mailer. This has a strip on top. See that reflective silver strip? We're gonna peel that up. And then we're gonna fold this over. Now, this package is sealed up, but it's not done yet. I personally put one of my stickers on the flap. Do you need to do this? No, you don't. This is just something that I do. Now, has my little logo sealed over the flap. We're gonna put the shipping label on the other side. Oops. Shipping label, my sticker, this is ready for the customer. So shout out to the homie David out in Alabama. This is headed your way. This right here is a regular poly mailer that you can get anywhere. You could get it on Amazon, you could get it on Uline, you could get it anywhere. You could get your own custom ones done. Google custom poly mailers, shit'll pop up for you. For myself, I use the ones from Amazon. Why do I use those? I buy them in like a pack of 100 or 200 or something like that, and they're fairly cheap. They also come delivered the next day, if not the same day. Same thing for my clear poly bags. I buy those on Amazon too. So you could just type in clear poly bag, whatever size you're looking for. If you didn't want the little glue strip on them, and let's say you wanted to seal it up your own way, you could do that. You could also seal it up with heat. So sometimes whenever you buy like, it's usually like cellophane or something like that, you could buy the little heat sealer. People buy that. Sometimes people buy the clear poly bags on a fucking roll. Like it's just a tube of bag, and then you could just seal up the stuff that way and heat seal it. You could do whatever you want. This is what works for me. I like to use the clear poly bags that have the glue strip. It makes it easy for myself. I seal them up, fold the t-shirts, I put them in these poly bags right here, and then it's ready to go. Everything is bought on Amazon. Just type in clear poly bag, type in poly mailer, type in flip folder, t-shirt folder, type in the label printer that I use. I use the Dymo label writer. That's the printer that I use. Do you have to use that one? No, you don't. What I'm not liking about this thing, like let's say I have 12 to like 15 orders that come in and I'm printing labels. When they start printing out, since they're on a roll, they just start like printing out and then just rolling up on each other. I see a lot of people using the flat ones, like the flat labels. Those thermal printers, probably a lot better. They just fold off of the zigzag the way they come out and they stay flat. I wish my labels stayed flat, but they come out rolled up because they're stuck on a roll. Not the best ideal way of doing things when you're doing a lot of them, because when you want to like fold them out and then like look at them, they're all curled up. Kind of dumb. But if you wanted to use the same label printer that I use, the one that I use is the Dymo label writer 4XL. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Dymo Label Writer 4XL. It's an older thermal printer. There's tons on the market. You don't have to use this one. Now, I also use Shopify to run everything. You guys seen that? That's where my online store is done. That's where my register for my retail store is done. When I'm selling in person, I'm also selling on Shopify, and everything is tracked through there. I load up my inventory on there and I say the t-shirt weighs 9 ounces, packaging is gonna weigh half of an ounce or whatever it is. So that way when people buy it, it calculates all the weight to whatever I plan on like shipping it in. So I'll put like t-shirt poly mailer, it'll be in there, and then it'll say, all right, they're buying this many things, it'll fit into this right here. It does all the thinking for you. That's why I use Shopify. Very easy to use, very dummy friendly. I'm not the smartest when it comes to this stuff, but for me, it makes the most sense. I hope that helps some people out. So Shopify is what I use my online store for. You've seen how I printed out the shipping label. I buy my postage straight through there. It'll give you a list of like, this is what the post office charges, this is what UPS charges, this is what FedEx charges for this many shirts and this much weight or whatever it is, and you make the selection on what you want to use. I usually ship everything through the post office. Every now and then, I'll ship stuff through FedEx or UPS. Usually I choose UPS over FedEx because I have a UPS store right down the street from here where I could just drop the shit off. I also have a hub down the street that I could, like if I have a ton of boxes, I could just drop it straight off at the hub. But I usually use the post office because it's on my way home. I can just drop all the stuff at the post office, be on my way. Usually that's the least amount of shipping is through the post office. Like for these t-shirts, like it could cost like anywhere from like $3 up to like $12 or something like that, depending where in the US you live, you know what I mean? I'm in Los Angeles, this is going to Alabama. I believe shipping on this thing was like $5-6 or something like that. Easy call. Now, one other thing when it comes to the shipping, I use flat rate shipping pricing on my site. So it'll be like first class shipping takes 3 to 5 days. I usually charge $4. And then for my priority shipping, which usually takes 1 to 3 days, I charge $9. So that way I'm covered all the way through the wherever you live in the country. Now you're probably like, how do you know it's gonna cost $4 or $9? I don't know that. I'm taking the average of what I think things are gonna cost and I build the excess into the price of the t-shirt. So in the retail price, my t-shirt might be retailed at $27. So that way I'll get $25 for the actual t-shirt, and then the other $2 on my $27 retail price, the other $2 is going to shipping and miscellaneous costs that it costs me to ship out. So like I said, on the site, what the customer sees is $4 flat rate shipping for first class. So if they choose that one, they're gonna choose $4 for shipping. If the shipping comes out to $5 or $6, that extra $2 in the retail price, like I said, it's $27. I need $25 for myself. The extra $2 is going towards shipping. So $4 they paid, but those other $2 is gonna make it $6. That covers everything in total for shipping. I do that because if the customer sees what it really costs to ship something, chances are they might not order it. So what I do is, since the customer's seeing only $4 to ship, the rest of it is built into my retail pricing. So that way I don't pay for shipping in total. The customer doesn't think they're getting raked over the coals when it comes to shipping. Everybody wins. The shipping and the cost of goods is covered. The customer doesn't feel like they were getting ripped off for shipping alone. It's a win-win situation, all right? Hopefully this information helps somebody out there. I just wanted to show you what the process was like, and that's what it is. I also wanted to try out this face tracking thing on my DJI camera, and hopefully it works. So when I edit this thing down, we'll see what it did, all right? Now, I'm gonna go take this thing to the post office so I could make the 3 p.m. cutoff, all right? Catch you guys on the next one. If you have any questions about anything that I talked about on here, leave it in the comments, please. If you have questions about what I do for shipping or folding or whatever it is, leave it in the comments for me. Follow me on Instagram if you wanted to, Big Brando TV. Catch you guys on the next one, man. Yeah.